of the morning to all you lads and lassies waking up on St. Paddy's Day, a day after. You all feeling good today?
I love it. You've been doing that accent all morning.
Well, I couldn't help it. It's the one day a year that I can actually get away with it.
It's kind of contagious, but I would totally botch it.
Give it a try.
Yeah, no. Okay, give me something to say.
Well,
Top of the morning to you.
Top of the morning to you. To ya.
So yeah.
No,
You gotta get the ya.
you're not quite there. Keep
Jimmy?
trying. Maybe next year.
Jimmy?
Oh, Jimmy's got
like-
Irish
no,
heritage.
Jimmy's
This
like,
is in his
"Prost."
blood. Yeah.
Prost instead.
It's out, whatever you want. It's not bad, you know.
Yeah, you learned at school.
Good
Your
hanging
mom.
out here. So it's a
Okay.
good one.
You
Yeah.
took that from your mom, huh?
It's not bad on my mum's side. We have a lot of green
Oh,
there.
bangers and mash. Give them a
All
try,
right,
eh?
I'll tell you about my mum one day. I love me mum.
Okay, give me a day to practice.
I saw a guy wearing a shirt. He posted it yesterday. It said, "Kiss me, I'm Mexican."
Not even pulling punches,
Love
just
it.
going for
I
it.
love it.
Just wear green, drink green.
That is awesome.
I was laughing. It's a great picture.
Funny.
I hope your Monday morning's starting off the right way, people. Thanks for stopping by to say hi to us. Paul Gerke, Trisha Hendricks, Vanessa Ramirez, James Quinones, chilling on the couch in the
Guilty
Today
as
and AZ
charged.
After Show. We got a lot to get to today, so let's get right down to brass tacks. We want you to share some of your most embarrassing moments. Today is National Awkward Moments Day, and everyone online is posting about the most unfortunate circumstances they found themselves in. So we want to hear about some of yours.
Yep.
While we wait for some of the comments to come in, does anyone want to take the first plunge and share
I'll do
an
the
awkward
first
story?
one.
All
Okay.
right, let's hear it.
I'm a biker. I did the Tour de Cure this weekend, over 1,200 people. It was awesome.
Amazing.
But this is another story. This goes back to when I was about 16, and I'm really thinking I'm all that in a bag of chips. And I was...
Still do, Jimmy.
I was the dude that would ride his bike and I'd get to the stoplight and I'd just balance it. I'd just balance, you know. And this carload of girls comes up and I'm just like, oh, I'm going to show them this.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
just balancing. They're like saying stuff, something, I don't know what, probably cracking up.
Talking junk.
Probably talking junk, and I'm just looking ahead, pretending I don't see them. I'm sitting there, and all of a sudden the light won't change. My feet are locked in, and I just go, boom! And I just hear this roar of girls exploding, laughing
probably
their
made their
heads
day.
off. Yeah, well, there goes my image,
No,
my
right.
self-esteem.
Otherwise he would've gone viral.
And then just drove off. So that was my funny story, being from cool guy. And I can think of how funny that must have just looked.
Right.
I mean, I had my butt in the air. I was just kind of like, yeah.
And then it
they're
just
like,
slow
what
motion.
the heck? And your feet are locked in the pedals,
Yeah.
so you can't
Yeah,
Get
you're
out.
just frozen.
look like it was
Poor
planned.
thing. Aw,
We got one from
little
Keith
Jimmy.
here. Keith, I'm going to read yours right away
Oh,
since
no.
you were so quick to send it to us. Getting caught in my then girlfriend's room by her mom and having to jump out of a second-story window. Keith, I hope your ankles are okay this morning.
That is awkward.
I think we've all had
really
the awkward
awkward.
escape from a bedroom or two we shouldn't have been in.
Oh boy, that
I'm leaving that one there.
Realm, I think, right?
So I've got one that's kind of similar to Keith's, if you guys will indulge for just a second. This story is so awkward that I've never shared it on air before, and I can't do it on television because it's just a little too racy.
Mildly
But we can do it here
inappropriate.
because it's
Mildly
Facebook.
inappropriate.
Let's go back in time, shall we?
Okay.
Yes.
This is my graduation from high school party.
Okay.
My friend and I had a joint party because our families pooled our resources. We had a big backyard and a huge
Oh, I thought it was
bash.
everyone brings a joint.
Yeah, no, different kind of party. That's a different party. That's not till
You
college.
guys always keep it interesting.
So it's high school. Keep this in mind. I'm 17 years old. I have a high school girlfriend. You don't get a whole lot of time together when you're in high school, if you remember back in those days. So you take any spare moment you can to steal away young love.
Oh.
We had a hall
Okay.
bathroom in my house that was just like a half bath. Not a whole lot of room in there. It's pretty much just a shower, a toilet, and a sink crammed into a small area. So high school girlfriend and I decide we're going to sneak away from the party for a minute
You're
for a
gonna take
little
your moment.
kissy face in the hall bathroom, right? So we're in there for 30 seconds.
Oh!
You knock so loud, the vase explodes.
Now he needs
What?
to get
Another
some
awkward
implants.
moment.
That was, it had to already be broken. Show the people at home. There's no way
broken.
me knocking on the
Paul
table
broke it.
broke this.
Paul broke it.
That's not possible.
Oh my gosh. That's
Unbelievable.
coming
That
out
had
of
to
your
be
paycheck.
pre-broken.
Dude,
Two more.
you're paying for this. That's
It's
why-
like when you break something in someone
Hey.
else's house and you put it back together just enough so they think they broke it. That's what that is.
It's $24.
That's why we can't have nice things around here, folks.
Talk about awkward moments day.
Paul.
Look, it still stays, too.
Anyway, back to the other awkward story. Yeah, we'll let someone else break that. We're in the hall bathroom when we hear a
Back to the bathroom.
very quiet, subtle knock.
Subtle knock.
And it's like a relative, like an older relative that needs to use the bathroom, not later, now. Like,
Stop
I gotta
making
go.
out. Stop making out. I need to use the
So we're in trouble. Like, we're busted here. We're not supposed to be in that bathroom together. One of us is gonna have to stay. So I decide to be the brave one and hide in the
you
shower
did not.
while high school girlfriend exits the bathroom. So
Bad. This is getting worse.
into the hall bath comes big ol' Aunt Bertha. I don't know her actual name. I didn't know her that well, but she's close enough to the family to be at my high school graduation.
Names have been changed to protect the innocent.
Yes.
And then you're scarred for life.
A very large older woman who needed to use the bathroom in an emergency fashion.
Not number one.
Like, I'm talking sounds like the end of the world in there.
Like you're lying.
In the meantime, I am lying in the shower, just like freaking out, because how many times have you been in someone else's house and you peek behind the shower curtain because you think you're just looking around at whatever? I've done it before. I've looked into people's shower. Can you imagine if a relative peeked into the shower and saw me hanging out in there? Like, this effing creep, he's here for graduation, he's spying on people in the bathroom.
Aunt Bertha.
So she's just letting loose, and I'm just sitting there holding my breath. I want to laugh, kind of, but I know I'm doomed if I laugh. And you can't gag or you just have to just.
This is a skit waiting.
Was
to
there a
happen.
courtesy flush?
Oh no, it was just chaos in there for what seemed like an eternity. And I'm just, the whole time, I'm like, this is it. I'm in big trouble here. Eventually, she got up and left, and I tried to get out as quick as I could. I
Were
did
you
not
like
get
up
caught.
against the side like this, or crouched in the bottom like this?
I was laying as flat as I could to be like as quiet as
I'm
possible.
not here.
I would have
I
started
did not get
like
caught.
gagging or something.
I think my grandma watches this show every day. She's going to be so
This is
embarrassed
so
to hear
bad.
this story from me.
Oh, man.
But yeah.
I'm glad I stuck around for this.
That is my
call.
most awkward moment ever, I think. That was pretty bad.
That's super awkward.
This is an awkward
Oh.
one. Michael said, when I woke up screaming on a flight, LOL, people started screaming and holding on for dear life. I realized what was happening mid-scream.
Oh, no.
Could you imagine you don't fall asleep? And that is always awkward when you're on a plane and you don't want to fall asleep because what if you
Right.
drool or you twitch?
Or you
And,
lay
like,
on the person
or
next
if
to you.
Yes, it's like so awkward. So I always try not to fall asleep on a plane.
Oh my goodness.
Hey,
already told
John
mine.
Farah in the comment section, you just turn it off, man. You can watch
Yeah.
something else. It's a free country. Story from Mark. Standing in front of a group of people saying, I do. Can you imagine? Did you have nerves, Jimmy? Like when you proposed, did you have nerves?
A little bit, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you start seeing her lips tight and her hands, and everything's like super
You forget
focused
the
vision.
cool line you were going to
so
say?
I
ready.
couldn't
though.
remember if I asked her or not. I remember I got on my knee and stuff. So yeah, I had nerves.
So we're good? Yes?
Nerves.
We're yes on the marriage thing? Where did we fall on that?
I remember
happening?
her saying something like, "Yeah, you have to ask me" or something like that. Because sometimes you get lost in the, I want to spend my life with you. I want
Right.
well, you got to ask
The
still.
spiel.
Yeah.
Exactly. So you got to just say the word.
Candy says Friday night,
Yeah,
an
this
acquaintance told me in front of the girl that he just started dating that he had a thing for me, and he just never acted on it. My mouth dropped and I walked away. I couldn't believe it. She was very pretty, and if I was her, I would have slapped him and left.
Well, did
That
she
is slightly
hear?
awkward. That's what it sounds like, that the three of them were like
my.
in the same place at the same time.
I've been like, bye.
That is
Peace
awkward.
out.
Girls, you know what a good line is that guys give, single guys give girls when they get older?
Hit me.
I always had a crush on you in high school.
Yeah, right.
Guys use that line
that's a good line.
all the time, and the girls are like, "Really? Yeah, I always had a thing for you."
Have you heard it?
Yeah.
I've used that line
right.
once or twice.
It works. It
It's
works.
mixed results. Yeah.
But it's so obvious. Ew.
One of my awkward moments, it's nothing big, but I'm sure it happens to a lot of people, but it's still embarrassing. Have you ever like tripped in the store or something?
Oh,
so I
yeah.
wear
Yeah.
flip-flops, right?
You meant to do it.
Yeah, and then I remember just recently I was at the grocery store and I was walking around all these people and I was like, oh, and it's like so awkward because I turned red because people pay attention and they're like, oh.
Yeah, your whole face. Whoop, whoop.
And it happens all the time. It's like a simple awkward moment, but it's just so embarrassing.
The best way to handle that whenever you trip and stumble and fall is just to yell parkour afterwards. Because I think that always gets a good laugh.
Everyone's like,
People
okay.
understand that, yeah, it was awkward.
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
I drop almonds later. I'm like, I meant to pick it up.
life is full of those like
Like,
little
whoops.
embarrassing moments too, though. Like I get in the wrong elevator all the time. Like you press down and the up elevator because the first one there, and you're looking at your
opens,
phone and you
you're
get
like,
in, and then you're like, I don't know
Came
where
by
I'm
to
going.
say hi.
I had a woman do that the other day. We were both going down to P3 in my parking garage. And it was like, oh, cool. So we're going to the same spot. I'll hold the door for her, like the gentleman that I am, wink. And I walk over to the door, and I open it for her, and I look, and she's not coming. And I was like, oh, she must have gotten off on the wrong floor. So I shut the door, and then I hear her come blasting through behind me. And I kind of look back at her, and she goes, oh, I didn't realize we were there yet. And I was like, okay, see you later. Like, have a great day.
I know it was an awkward moment to a friend of mine who we're
Okay.
very good friends with. I told her
Again, names
what
protected.
really happened. Yeah. My buddy had a house, one of those crazy houses, and we'd party in college. And when somebody would go out, they had a big bell, an old-fashioned, like one of those fire bells that you hit it and it goes ding, ring.
Fun.
And everyone in the room, when some guy went out and would ring the bell, or somebody would, the whole house would scream, "Score!" So I was in the room alone with this girl, and we're friends to this day. But we're just friends in the room. But she was really pretty, like out of my league kind of pretty.
I'll kick your cup.
So I'm just sitting there and we're talking. I'm like, "Oh, really? So who's the guy you have the crush on?" We're talking about the other thing. I said, "Hey, I'll be right back, okay? I got to go to the bathroom." I walk outside and I hit the bell and the whole party screams, "Score!" I walk back in. She's like, "What was that all about?" I'm like, "I don't know. We're
no
a bunch
idea.
of immature imbeciles, if you ask me." So what were you saying? Go ahead. What were you saying? So awkward for her.
Yeah.
But I ended up telling her a couple days later.
What about, remember that game, spin the bottle or 7 minutes
yeah.
in heaven or whatever,
Yeah.
and it's like you have to go with a random person, and that's awkward, y'all.
You're like, wait a minute, I'm not playing anymore.
Who created that game anyway?
I was never invited to those games.
The problem with the spin the bottle games was always like a weird collection of friends. It was always like 3 dudes and like your sister and like her marginally attractive friend. And it's like, well, I'm not kissing
kissing my
Jimmy.
sister.
I'm not kissing my sister, so I'm just spinning till I hit Trisha?
Yeah.
Is that what we're doing here? Like,
And now you're kissing. Who?
You know what's funny about those games was that you'd hear stories about other people spinning.
Oh,
the bottle,
yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and it was always something fake or made up too. But it was like, "Oh, dude, it was like all the hot chicks and all the hot dudes, and we're all doing spin the bottle." And I'm like, "Yeah, there's my aunt and my sister,
I remember
and
we
sister's
had a
awkward,
party.
weird friend." Yeah, you're right.
Junior high,
I don't think they
actually.
existed. Bunch of liars.
You're good. We were going to play spin the bottle, and I was so nervous. It's
Yeah.
like, oh, but we're in middle school. Are we allowed to do this?
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, we did. I don't remember what happened from then.
We did, and it was
I
great.
just
We all
remember
made out. It was
we
fantastic.
played it, but I think the work up to the game was even better than the game itself.
Yeah,
I went to Catholic school, so I know what that's all about.
Yeah.
I think everybody played spin the bottle growing
Yeah.
up.
to
right?
mix success, I think. Yeah. We got a few more awkward stories to share in the comment section. We'll get to those in just a second. But first, our ICYMI. If you missed Today in AZ this morning, we shared some awkward moments there too. National Awkward Moments Day. So what was your most awkward moment? Can you think of one? Are you brave enough to share it with us? Text Team 12 602-444-1212. One of my most awkward moments came when I had an ankle injury back in, I'd say, 2010-ish. I got really good at carrying stuff in my teeth because I couldn't use my hands. I'm at a gas station with a cup of coffee, and I was carrying in my teeth to the counter, and then I slipped, and I bit through the cup, and it hit the ground and exploded.
Oh, gosh.
I was awkward.
That
I
was
wiped
awkward,
out.
like reliving it as well.
It was bad.
Jimmy, do you have any awkward moments?
No,
Embarrassing moments?
well, Paul had another one he told me about when he threw candy at a girl.
Oh, that is a different awkward moment.
Yeah.
I forgot about that
Why
one.
would you do that?
That's another story for another time.
Yeah,
I feel
really.
like it's.
Candy
It
and-
wasn't
need to share
a mean act. He was just nervous. Poor kid couldn't give candy to the girl because he wanted to, so he just.
I really
kinda
liked
threw it
her.
at
Lord have mercy.
He liked her.
That's awkward.
I chucked her right into her locker, almost hit her in the head.
Oh, ouch.
Yeah, that's what love is
mean.
when you're in
That's
middle school.
borderline mean.
That's awkward.
Middle school,
awkward.
Valentine's Day.
Middle school.
We told the
okay.
story on this show before. Had a crush, bought her chocolates, waited all day to give them to her. Couldn't find the right opportunity. Knew where her locker was on the way out. Had every intention of stopping by and saying, "Morgan, I'm madly in love with you. Here are some chocolates."
Let's find
if
her.
that would do anything.
We
Let's
can
not. She's
find
happily
her
married with
now.
kids. Let's leave her be. So I just walked
leave
by
her
and I was like a drive-by. I just whipped the chocolate
That
in there,
is
rattled
awesome.
around, hit her, and I
That
just
is
took off. I just
awesome.
ran.
my
I got out of
God.
there. That was bad.
What if she still had that chocolate?
I know.
I wouldn't have eaten it if some weirdo threw chocolate at me.
He's throwing things on the desk. He's throwing chocolate.
you're
and
breaking
breaking
stuff today.
He's on a roll.
I'm a liability.
I love Ashley's response. She says, my whole life has just been one giant awkward moment.
I hear you, Ashley.
Gabe,
Days are like that.
Gabe Trujillo works there. He's in a powered wheelchair, and he said he almost rolled his prom date into a punch bowl during the dance.
No, you did not,
So glad she
Gabe.
didn't notice. So he's probably like, "Dang, it's jam! It's jam!"
Oh my God,
Really
Gabe, that's
want
fantastic.
Video of that. Oh my God.
Tanika says, on an awesome first date over
Yeah.
Chinese food, I started laughing and a single piece of rice flew out of my mouth and hit my date on the forehead.
Oh, I wonder
Oh,
if there's a second
isn't it
date.
always like when you have awkward first dates all the
Right.
time, and it includes eating?
Always.
And, stuff's coming out of your mouth or your drink spits out.
You try to be
what
like
is it
so
about that?
careful about it, but I
Right.
think that almost
Yeah.
lens itself to more problems. I
like
develop a
trying
hole
too
in my
hard.
lip when I'm talking to. I just spill stuff on my face all the time.
He's drooling. Please go on that
I got a
second
fellow
date.
anchor I worked with, Michelle Silva. She met the love of her life. They were out. Everything was going great. They were laughing. This joke, she said, he made me laugh, and they're laughing, and they're at this diner. And all of a sudden he laughs, and this gigantic snot flies down and hits his sweater. And then he tries to rub it off, and he
and it just
smears
smears.
it. And she said the love affair was over.
Yeah,
the guy
that's
could
it.
never recover from it. That can happen. That can. You know, sometimes you get the snot in
Anything
your
can
mouth.
happen.
And poor guy, man, just weird.
Anything can happen.
Bodily functions are normal, and you're more forgiving as you get into your 30s and up. But
Yeah.
man, below that, you can really be mortified.
Speaking of bodily functions, Justin, you have some cojones for sharing this story with a bunch of strangers this morning. I got to give you props, my man. He says, kids and I were leaving Knott's Berry Farm. We exit, my stomach starts growling. I stop at a gas station. They say no public restroom. Anyways, I get back in the car to go to the one across the street. Same thing. I was clenching my butt cheeks so bad. I stopped at 6 places, but nobody would let me go. I was about 30 minutes away from my hotel room. I was passing through an intersection, and my clenching failed.
And, his
And the
neighbors on
story
it.
ends
It
there.
happens. It happens.
We're all human, man.
Yes.
That's the moral of the story.
Oh, that's
Exactly.
brutal, brother. I hope everything got cleaned up okay.
Yes. Oh my
Yeah.
goodness, Justin.
Yeah, I had a friend visiting me from out of town, and we were at a restaurant, and she left to go to the bathroom. She was gone for like 20 minutes, and she comes back. She says, wow, that line was huge. You know? Okay, I'm thinking this. She says, well, yeah, I'm going to use the bathroom now. I didn't have a chance to use it the first time. She's got another 20 minutes. And then we're driving through Arcadia, and we had to pull over, and she ran into the bushes.
What?
You know what, though?
Where
It
did you take her
happens.
to eat, Jimmy?
No, it was her stomach. Something was going on. So
You got to do what you got to do, man.
yeah,
When nature
it
calls.
happens. Bodily functions happen.
Erin's
yeah.
got a good one. She says, getting off on a rideshare bus to the rodeo. I grabbed what I thought was my boyfriend's hand, only to find out I grabbed someone else's hand. He didn't seem to mind.
Almost did that the other day in the butcher section. Girl looked too much like my wife, and I was just
you
like,
see the hair from behind?
oh,
You're like,
I'm ready to rub the back of her ear.
You ever do that where someone's like walking behind you and you turn to say you're talking to them, and you turn and they're gone and there's someone else there? Not you.
Oh my! I was
Sorry.
Michelle replied to Erin's thing. She said, "I wasn't sure where you were going with that. I grabbed at what I thought was my boyfriend's hand."
I want to hear some fart experiences. Because everybody
Said no
farts
one
on
ever.
dates. Oh my gosh. There's that commercial where the girl sits in, the guy opens up the door, and then he goes to the other side.
Yeah.
And while he's walking, she lets this gigantic fart out, and then he sits down. He says, oh, by the way, did you meet my best friend and his wife in the back seat? And the wife's like, nice to meet you.
All I have to say is once you become a parent, there's nothing's off
No
limits.
shame anymore.
Yes, it's all.
It's like anything goes, anything is fair game for dinner conversation.
Oh, they say it gets worse when you get older.
You're like,
They say
"What's
when you
wrong
get into your
with the food
60s,
today?"
when you're in your 60s, you're describing your gallbladder surgery. Well, you're like, well, cutting your prime rib. So they made a simple cut right there. they lifted the bowel there, and they had to tuck it under.
No.
We have girls,
Killing
so,
me
you know,
ever since.
it's all roses, right?
Yeah. All right.
One more awkward story. We got to move on, guys. This is from Gary. This is a good one. Most awkward moment since I was living in the Valley, an old lady hit on me while on a light rail ride. One thing she said was I was her favorite gingerbread man since I had red hair.
Oh, wow.
That's awkward. Real.
Thanks for sharing, Gary. Hey, let's play a quick game. It's called Fill in the Blank. We debuted this game last week. This one, St. Patty's Day specific. The question for you today, I drank blank on St. Patrick's Day. I'll start. I drank nothing at all on St. Patrick's Day. I can't remember the last St. Patty's Day I didn't have at least one beer. But I drank 2 days before. I had friends in town, so it was like, I'm not really feeling it. I got to work in the morning.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, I've gone to bed at 7 p.m. on St. Patty's Day before, but not like I did yesterday.
It gets wild in my house when we bust open the Martinellis.
All right, so how would you fill in the blank? You drank...
Coffee, lemon water, and yeah, that's
Not
about
that
it.
exciting.
No, but the babies love the ice.
Okay.
Samantha says, I drank milk on St. Patty's Day.
Okay.
Okay, what
No.
about you, Vanessa?
I drank water. I emceed
Wow.
an event yesterday.
You can
so
tell me party hardy.
yeah, so I was busy at a community event, so I didn't have
Jimmy,
time to
save
celebrate.
us.
Yeah, I like having
Green
a
beer?
nice cocktail. Yeah.
What did you? Fill in the blank, Jimmy. I drank too much on St. Patrick's
A
Day.
Moscow
I
Mule?
drank just enough.
Just enough.
Wine,
Just enough.
Yeah,
A
you
beer
know,
mosa.
but
Wait,
I
how
don't-
did you guys celebrate?
I don't understand corned beef and cabbage and
Oh, look out.
little Irish whiskey, Hennessy's,
whiskey.
and then
I thought you were gonna say
and
a
then finish
good
off with a nice
beer.
tall beer. It's just you know
Okay.
just a little glass
So
of
whiskey
Hennessy's
and
up here, and then beer for the meal.
You saved.
I don't understand people that like you guys. I admire you. You're like,
understand.
we didn't drink, whatever. I'm like, I like a nice cocktail, not to get hammered, but you know.
Well, I
like
couldn't
a
because
good
I was at an
drink.
Yeah.
event. But last year I
Right.
celebrated. I went to
I
one of the
have
bars.
seen you celebrate
yeah,
before.
I went to
I've
one of the
had-
bars downtown.
Yeah, I've had a green beer in my lifetime, and an appletini. That's green too.
There you go. A lot of non-alcoholics in the thread, or at least not yesterday. Kelly, I drank coffee on St. Patrick's Day. Jim
Yeah.
Rogers, I drank green tea on
Okay.
St. Patrick's Day. At least that's in the
green
spirit
in
of
the
the
name,
season,
yeah.
right?
Good.
Ginger drank life on St. Patrick's
Oh.
Day. Way to live your best life.
Deep, deep
Not
ginger.
life or Miller High Life.
Yeah, could have been. Yeah.
Grab from the fruit of life.
Aaron drank sweet tea. Joanne water on St. Patrick's Day. Y'all staying hydrated on your
Yeah.
Monday morning. I appreciate
You know
that.
what? I think a lot of people celebrated on Saturday too.
Right.
Right.
I noticed that
You
because
gotta wake up.
Coffee.
St. Patty's Day and Halloween are those two holidays that when they fall on weird days, like during the work week or in the front of a work week, you have to do it the days before.
Yeah.
Right.
Like you just
if you're
can't.
productive and you show up to work.
Yeah, the Wednesday night Halloween party, not really my
Yeah,
thing. You know what I mean?
no.
Same
On the
with Sunday
weekend.
on St.
Yeah.
Patty's Day. Heather says Kilt Lifter. Good local beer there,
Ooh.
Heather. Good choice.
Yeah.
Joanne drinking water. If anybody else wants to share their drinking experiences, you've got like maybe 60 seconds before we have to bid the adieu. Any last awkward takeaways?
Nothing I can say on TV.
Right.
Yeah.
Still feeling awkward from your story about hiding Aunt Bertha in the back.
You know what's always awkward when Rachel does her movie quotes, and
Yeah.
I'm like, I have
Oh, yeah.
no clue what she's talking
That
about.
happens to me every day. Because Rachel, and you get them more
You're
than the rest
good,
of us
too,
do.
yeah.
But Rachel has seen every movie ever and knows a million quotes from every
Oh,
single
she
movie.
makes me look like I've only seen 3 movies
Right,
my whole life.
I feel so insecure because
Yeah.
she drops them into casual conversation
It's so
every
good,
time you talk to her.
though.
And she
Yeah.
looks at you like, and you're
I'm
just like,
like,
I have never seen that
like,
movie.
no.
Oh, I just agree with her now. I'm like,
Very
yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
We should do a montage of all her movie quotes. Like,
There's
not enough time.
Yeah.
Fill up a whole show.
Yeah.
Oh man, but the one this morning, the milking the cat.
Oh yeah.
I
Doesn't
can
don't
watch
they show
that
this?
one like
From Meet the
20
Parents?
times.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yes, and I'm crying laughing every single time the sound effects.
Producer Jeff says it's time to go. One last awkward moment here from Val, seeing my former boss dropping his pants when he was helping load a dish into the work truck one summer.
That's hilarious.
He had to lift it kind of high. You can imagine the pants. Wear belts, everybody. Have a great Monday. We'll see you back here on the couch at 7:30 tomorrow for the Today in AZ After Show. Thanks to everybody for having fun with us this morning. This is
Yes.
awesome. Best part of my day.
Yeah, have a good one.